And there's a school of psychology known as constructivism, and it was started mainly by a man named George Kelly. Now, Kelly had this theory that all people are like scientists. We're all little scientists running around, and we have ideas about the way things are, called constructs. We have ideas about the way things should be and about the way things will be. And as scientists, we try and predict what's going to happen in any given situation. And when we can predict what's going to happen, and when our predictions are correct, it lowers our anxiety levels. So when we think that a certain thing is going to happen, when we do this, or we see an event coming up and we think it's going to go like that, and it does, it lowers our anxiety level, it makes us calm, it brings us peace. So Kelly says that some people, people who are sane, people who are at peace, people who are high-functioning people, he says those people are good scientists. They have constructs or ideas about the way things are, should be, and will be. They have constructs that are flexible. So that when something happens that they're not expecting, or when something doesn't go the way they think it should, they say, oh, I need to adjust the way I see things. I need to adjust my expectations in that area. Those good scientists adjust their constructs to fit what's actually happening around them. Now, Kelly's poor scientists, the people who are not at peace with themselves, the people who are neurotic, or the people who are insane, poor scientists, he say, don't adjust their constructs to fit with reality. They have very rigid constructs, thoughts about the way things are and about the way things will be. So when something happens that doesn't fit their construct, they get very agitated, very anxious, and there's a lot of internal turmoil that goes on in these poor scientists who aren't able to see things in a different way, to be flexible in their constructs, in the way they view the world. So the whole idea is that we would bring peace to ourselves, inner peace, and lower our anxiety by becoming better scientists, by trying experiments with things to see, is this construct of mine, is this way that I view the world really valid? Testing our beliefs. And when unexpected things come up, seeing how flexible we can be in accommodating what's happening into the way that we view the world. So constructivism, as Kelly describes it, is all about the person's ability to predict the future and thus lower their levels of anxiety. Now, we as Christians come about this a little different way. It's important to be flexible in our constructs, that's true. But we also need to realize that we can't predict the future accurately. This is part of our flexibility here, realizing that we can't predict the future, but that someone can. And our lives are in that someone's hands. And our futures are given over to that someone. And that someone, obviously, is God. So as Christians, we can have the peace that comes from being good scientists, and we can also have that peace that comes from knowing that no matter what does happen, all things work together for the good of those who love God and those who are called according to His purpose. And we can have that peace and that confidence, and that lowers our anxiety. And even when things are bad, when things are wrong, bad things happen to Christians all the time, terrible things. In fact, possibly worse things happen to Christians than happen to non-believers, just because of some of the persecution that we endure in some places. But even when those things do happen, we can have the confidence that they are working together for a greater good, for a good that we maybe can't necessarily see or predict or even describe, because the wisdom of God is far greater than anything that we can understand. But trusting in that wisdom is what brings us more peace and more confidence than being a good scientist ever could.